and welcome to Witch Hat Chats. Come on in and sit for our spell. We're sponsored by Evermoving We Rise, Moonlight Potions and Charms, and Saul Ravencraft, Wizard for Hire. I am your goddess host, Miss Nikki Kirby, and our co-host, Saul Ravencraft, is around here somewhere. Where is he? Oh, there
Here
he
I
is.
am.
Hey, Saul.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you, Saul. It is 2024, and next month we are going to have the Chinese New Year of the Wood Dragon, which will be my year. Yes,
Very
yes,
nice.
yes,
And
yes.
and 2024 gives us an 8 with numerology. 8 is about resource and uh, abundance potential and getting everything in line. This is a year to work on pulling it together and prosperity.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. This is going to be my year. This is going to be my year. So, do you want to know what our divination is?
Absolutely.
All right. So, our tea divination today, I am drinking Earl Grey green tea, and I had to make this today because you can hardly find Earl Grey green tea. And I love this tea because my mother, many, many years ago, found a box. She was getting me green tea, but she accidentally got me Earl Grey green tea. And ever since she got me that, it's been so hard to find that combination, but it's really, really good.
So is that a blend of Earl Grey black tea with green tea, or is it a green tea that's
Yeah.
been treated with a bergamot oil like Earl Grey?
No, it's a blend, is what it
Okay,
is.
nice.
Yeah, and some places you can find it, and then there's other places you just have to put it together. And it's like I said, it's really, really hard to find. And my mom had just accidentally found it. She just picked it up because it said green tea, and I've loved it ever since. So if I can get them together, it's great. If I can not, I have to blend it myself. So anyway, it's really, really good. It's kind of a Asian version of Picard right there with you. There we go.
There you go.
Mm. But anyway, it's really, really good. It helps with bringing you if you're down or anything. It helps bring the spirit up and just it's wonderful. Anyway, so our divination for today comes from Zig Ziglar, and he said, and I quote, "People often say that motivation doesn't last. Well, neither does bathing. That's why we recommend it daily." So, our wise one, Mr. Saul, what does that mean to you?
Have you ever seen Zig Ziglar present?
Hmm.
I've not seen him live, but I've seen some video. And I believe he passed on recently, didn't he?
I don't know. He probably did.
Yeah. Uh, but he was the icon for motivational speaking and all of that. Very dynamic. Uh, he would he had this thing where he'd kneel down on the stage and raise his arms up and almost like an evangelical preacher. But what he was preaching was getting centered on your own stuff and doing your own thing. Mostly aimed towards salespeople is what he did, and it's true. Something that I experience when I perform is when I'm doing the performance and I'm getting all that energy from people. It feels good, and I'm going, yeah, yeah. And
Hmm.
then I'll hit a point after the show when I'm exhausted and I'm putting things away where it's like, yeah, yeah, that was good. And then the next morning, I'm like, yeah. And then a day or two later, I'm like, yeah. And the experience, the feeling of doing that performance, that interaction with people fades. And if I don't do another performance, it starts to get almost depressing for me. And so the longer I go without participating in some kind of activity, it doesn't have to be a performance, it could be some other kind of project, or something where I'm doing something useful, I'm making use of my skills, I am manifesting something. I gotta have that. And if it goes too long, I seriously get depressed about things. And I see that as a strong relationship to what he's saying here. We have this idea that we get the inspiration, we get the understanding, and then that's it. Go. You're all set for life. But the truth is that we have all kinds of things that eat away at that motivation, eat away at that inspiration that we have. And if it isn't supported by action, by community, by results, we start to lose our connection with it. So yeah, I think it's wonderful to have some way to spark that up. I don't necessarily know how to do that the way that Zig Ziglar talks about, but yeah, if you've been isolated from what you're trying to do for too long, you're gonna lose track of it. Don't you find that to be the case?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm isolated, really isolated where I'm at. And the thing about it is I'm always having to reboot myself, as you can speak. That's the reason why that's the reason why I believe magic is always around us. I mean, come on, I'm always having to think about new things, how to get new things started. And at times, yeah, it can be rather depressing, and especially when you feel like you're not connected with spirit, and
Right.
you feel that nobody wants to talk to you and everything. Yeah, it can be that way. And the holidays are the absolute worst, aren't they?
They can be challenging.
Right, right. And so that leads me to make an announcement for Moonlight Potions and Charms.
Oh, nice.
One of my products, the Papa Legba Altar on the Go, has been nominated for Product of the Year in the Witchcraft and Occult Media Awards, the 2024. And I'm very, very proud of it. Yes, right there it is. And if you want to, you can go online, and right there is the address right there, and vote for us. Please go online, vote for us. And the vote actually ends on the 26th of January, and they're going to let us know in February who wins. So go online. That is an excellent, excellent altar. And actually, it was very surprising when it was nominated. I was like, "Ooh!"
That's wonderful.
So,
And we'll have that link in the notes as well to make it easy for people to just click on that. And yeah, best of luck with that. That's a wonderful thing.
oh
And
yes,
they
and
say it's an honor to be nominated,
it
but
is an honor to be nominated. But the winners is
it's
a lot.
nicer to win. Yeah.
Yeah, and The link to the actual product is also in the notes as well, in case you actually want to go and buy it. And but they didn't nominate Witch Hat Chats for the best podcast, which I'm sorry, but we are. And
Well, there are so many of them out.
yeah, but we still are. So, oh well. But at least, my altar got nominated.
Well, I
Papa
think that's
Legba made
wonderful.
sure about that.
That is wonderful.
Yes, it is. It is.
It's a good way to start the new year.
It is. It really is. It's like I said, I was just really, I was just really amazed.
Well, that's your dose of inspiration right there. Someone's paying attention.
Right, right. It is. Ah, so for the new year, so what's going to start out? A lot of people make these New Year resolutions. Resolutions. And most of the time, by the time you get to April, they're already done. So we were going to talk about goals and how to keep them. Because goals are like spell work, really. If you make new goals for yourself, you have to make steps in order to achieve those goals. And it's just like spell work. You got to do your research, you got to do the steps, and blah, 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 blah. So Saul is going to show us how to do reasonable goals.
Well, it's funny that you wanted to talk about this. One of the other things that I do is I edit a podcast for a friend of mine. His name is Kent Cummins. He's 80 years old. He's been a stage magician for going on 75 years now. He started when he was a kid. He considers the point where he decided to become a magician to be his start. And it's funny that we connect because you wouldn't think that we would. But because of my theater background and my technical theater skills, I've worked with him on some of his productions. I've directed him theatrically. And so we've actually become pretty close. And one of the last podcasts that I edited for him was about goals because he's a very goal-oriented person. He makes stuff happen. He's into marketing and getting stuff done. He's a business guy. And one of the things that he talked about when he talked about goals was how unless you have a natural ability, and I guess if you think it's natural, you were trained that way by your parents or somebody along the way, you have to have a way of setting goals that lead you to achieving them. We have so many ways to get distracted. We have so many ways to be vague about things. Oh, I'm going to go to the gym more. Right? I'm gonna be happier. I'm gonna do stuff. And so when we talk about resolutions, those are things that don't get us very far. And there are techniques to help you set goals in a way that makes them more attainable, more direct, and helps you build the understanding. So I think in the beginning you use the concept and then you get used to it and it becomes part of your nature. You don't necessarily have to sit down and write down all the elements there. Very much like you said, like spell work, that in the beginning you're following things very closely and you're being very precise, and then you click in with what's going on. and you're much more in a position to do a dash of this and a pinch of that kind of magic with what is needed in the moment, because it's become internalized. It's become a part of you. So if you are someone who struggles with goals, who has something that you want to do, and it just always seems to go off track, or you never quite get there, then you may want to start doing SMART goals. And SMART is an acronym, SMART. Each letter stands for something about goal setting. So the S in SMART stands for specific. One of the things that we'll do when we try to set a goal is we'll be very vague about it. And that doesn't lead you anywhere. You have to be specific about what it is that you want. What is it that you're trying to achieve? I want to be happier at my job. Okay, well, that's one thing, but what does that mean? Do you want what things do you want in your job that works? More money, more autonomy, more less work hours. I mean, what is it that you're aiming for? Be specific about those things. I want to lose weight. I want to lose 10 pounds. Okay, that's specific. So resolutions, we tend to be kind of wishy-washy about. And you're not going to be able to achieve a goal unless you know what it is you're trying to achieve. The M is measurable. Okay, specificity is a good place to begin. We know what it is that we're aiming for, but how do we know if we've gotten there? The goal of losing 10 pounds, that's measurable. That's something that we know whether or not we've lost 10 pounds. Right? If we gain pounds, we're going in the wrong direction. If we lose 3 pounds, we're not doing enough. So we've got to set a milestone. We've got to set something out there that we know if we've done it or not. So that's the M in SMART. The other thing is it's got to be achievable. Gosh, are we good at setting goals that can't happen? We set the bar so high, and we push ourselves so much, largely by comparing ourselves to others, and looking at sort of what society tells us. We have a lot of unrealistic things that we're shown. People who barely work at a coffee shop that live in lavish New York apartments. All right. That's just not the way it works. You are going to have to work for your goal. You are going to have to work within what you have available. And so often we need to have baby steps. So if you want to achieve, say, world peace, that may not be achievable for you. You may not have everything that it needs to create peace in the whole world. We want peace in the whole world. We want to send that vibration out, right? But all we can really achieve is peace around ourselves. That we can work on. That's achievable. And we can look at what it takes to do that. But if your goal is not going to happen, if it's not realistic, then you're not going to be able to do it, and you're just going to get disappointed. So that's the A in SMART. Relevant. Relevant is kind of a big one. We have something that we're aiming at. We have a big picture that we're trying to achieve. We should. And we have this idea, and we're moving toward it, but then we get distracted by other kinds of things. Our goal is to say, improve our practice with our magic and to make it more a part of us and more ingrained in us. And so that is our goal. And we also want to have fabulous eye makeup. Well, okay, it's all right to want fabulous eye makeup, but that is not related to your magical goal. And so when you're looking at what it is that you want to do, you have to put it on the track that you're on. Can you have more than one track? Yeah, I think so. But you have to understand the separation between the different activities and how they relate to your bigger picture. Mm-hmm. So make sure that what you're doing is relevant. Losing weight doesn't necessarily have a lot to do with your magical practice.
I beg to
Now,
differ.
that could be part of the self-care, maybe, right? But you have to understand it all in context and make sure that you're not distracting yourself by putting work into things that aren't really going to help you achieve your bigger goal. And not everything has to happen at once, right? We can have one thing that we're aiming at and set the goals for that. And then when we're done with that, we can set another path of goals. I think it's also possible to have some parallel paths, but it's tricky. So simplify first. Simplify first. And the final, the T in SMART is time bound. You got to set a deadline. I think we've seen a lot of situations where that deadline makes the difference. I know us on this podcast, when we're working on stuff and we have a vague idea, okay, that's nice. It's a lovely conversation. But when we go, oh, it's happening February 22nd. Wow. That changes our whole approach to everything. And time bound helps you get your butt in gear, which is necessary. When it's this vague thing out there, then we can put it off and put it off and put it off. But when there's a time, we got to do it. And so that is what makes for a good set of criteria to do goals that you can work for, especially if it's something that you struggle with. So real briefly again, SMART. S is specific. Make your goals specific. Make it measurable. Make it achievable. Make it relevant. And make it time-bound. That's an idea that's been out there, but I was reminded by my friend Ken Cummins, and we'll have a link to his podcast there so you can hear how he describes it in his context. He's an interesting guy. So are your goals SMART?
Of course they are. I learned a long time ago that I need to set things that I can actually achieve.
Right. Are there any one of those aspects that you struggle with especially?
I used to struggle with the one to make it realistic because I was always the overachiever at one point. And when you're raised to be the overachiever, that nothing is ever good enough, it's difficult to actually make something that's a little lower than what you're expecting. But I had to learn to be able to do that and to take the pressure off of myself. So that's one thing that I've had to learn to be able to do.
Right. Specificity is a big one for me. I have this sort of ethereal, fantastic idea of what I want my world to be like. But I don't necessarily have that solid picture of what I need to do it. I can get a little little wibbly wobbly on things, and so it's harder for me now. Now, when I'm working on something for you, it's very easy for me to be specific. We need to do this and this and this and this. But for me, I don't know.
Well, it's because you're too close to it. That's one
Yeah,
thing. And the thing about being Pacific is you don't want to be really too Pacific. You want to leave a little room to kind of move because as you're getting close to your goals may change
right,
as you're getting close to it.
right.
So you want to leave a little bit of room to be able to move around. And plus, the universe may have a different thing in mind, because as this has always happened to me. They've always thrown me a curveball in my life. And when, the deities throw a curveball in your life, then you got to figure out how does this curveball fit in with my goals?
Right.
And does it change the way that I think about my goals? Because that may change your whole life. That may change your whole mindset. What you
I'm reading
thought
a
about.
biography by Mel Brooks right now called All About Me. And it's an audiobook read by Mel Brooks, so that makes it even better. But he calls these moments bounces, where he's got a plan and he's working toward the plan, and something goes wrong, and that creates this vacuum, and something comes in to fill the vacuum. One example of a strong bounce for him was Blazing Saddles. He had another actor cast for the Waco Kid in Blazing Saddles, and the guy was had some addiction issues, and he did not get through the first day of shooting. And Brooks is like, what am I going to do? And then this happy little circumstance reconnected him with Gene Wilder, who flew out on a plane and immediately jumped into it and was fantastic as the Waco Kid. And he tells several stories of situations where, we were going in this direction and it wasn't going to work, and then we bounced. And I think that's a great way to look at it.
And with that, we are going to our sponsors and listen to their amazing messages. We'll be right back with Witch Hat Chats. Anybody can tell you what is on a tarot or oracle card. What matters is seeing beyond what others may not be able to see and help the client to uncover what lies in the mist. What do readings from Moonlight Potions and Charms do? Wednesday, I did this ancestor reading, and it was an amazing reading. And it was a detailed reading. And I remember talking to this customer's ancestors, and it was so delightful. And he wanted some questions to be answered about the magic in his family because he didn't know. And his family was mostly like most of our families are. How everything is like hush hush when it comes to the magic in his family. And he wanted to know who can he actually talk to about the history of the magic in his family. And I was able to give him specifically who he can go to talk to about that. What particular deity he can actually go to be able to help him with this. And it was just an amazing reading, and talking to his ancestors. They were such a delight, and they told me so much about this customer. It was just an absolutely wonderful, wonderful reading for him. And I was just so happy to be able to give him this wonderful reading. It's really amazing to be able to give people these readings, these products that's really going to help them, and be able to give back to the community, because this is what Moonlight Potions and Charms is about. We want to help you to embrace the power of your own magic. That is what we are all about. It's to help you to do that. Book now and allow our wonderful staff to take care of your spiritual reading needs. And there is so much more in our Wicked store to help you to embrace the power of your own magic. So come on in to Moonlight Potions and Charms at www.moonlightpotionscharms.com and discover the wicked things that ignite the magical passion in you. Have you heard? The King of the Crossroads, Papa Legba, has graciously opened the roads, paving the way for the Papa Legba Altar on the Go to be nominated as Outstanding Product of the Year in the 2024 Witchcraft and Occult Media Awards. Makes Papa Legba Altar on the Go stand out. Complete traveling altar kit. Everything you need for sacred space is right at your fingertips, all neatly arranged in a mystical painter's pail. And it's compact and convenient. A perfect, powerful, temporary altar, whether you're a modern nomad, a military soul on the move, or a wanderlust-stricken traveler. It also has additional space for the personal touch. As customization is a key to your spiritual journey, the Papa Legba Altar on the Go leaves room for you to infuse your unique energy. Moonlight Potions and Charms and Papa Legba invites you to join the spellbinding spectacle at the 2024 Witchcraft and Occult Media Awards. Cast your vote for the Papa Legba on the Go as the Outstanding Product of the Year. Your support fuels the magic. Go to https://rb.gy/PC3F11 to cast your vote. Remember, your altar is not just a space, it's a step in your magical journey. Explore the depths of your inner self by visiting Moonlight Potions and Charms at mpcmagic.com. Be ready to embrace the power of your own magic. Have you wondered what spirituality is? Spirituality is limitless, as it does not contain any boundaries on beliefs or practices. Spirituality's most important component is personal experience and allows one to explore it freely. Evermoving We Rise is a spiritual moving tradition, as our name is our lifestyle, because we are persistently rising and moving forward. We realize that everyone's spiritual journey is extremely personal, but more easily traveled with reinforcement. We'll teach you to become friends with your shadow, emerge your authentic self, and give you time and space to develop your own spirituality. And when situations bump back, you'll have the entire community behind you, as we are a magical family who work to sustain each other. Discover the benefits of working within a society dedicated to helping you grow on your personal path. Visit us on our website, Linktree, or Facebook page and discover why we don't fit in the box.
Welcome back to Witch Hat Chats. I am Saul Ravencraft. I am here with Miss Nikki Kirby. We are embracing the new year 2024, looking forward to abundance and setting our goals and achieving our goals and casting our spells and doing the things. What are you looking forward to, Nikki?
I'm just looking forward to everything that I'm going to be able to achieve. There we go.
Well, that wasn't very specific. So you're off to a great start.
Yes.
Well, there is opportunity, and one of the things that I am looking forward to is leaving behind those things which need to be left behind from 2023 and further back. It's amazing how as you move along, you still find things that you're holding on to that you should have let go of a long time ago. There's still an opportunity.
Well, Saul, you should have done your cut and clear ritual by now. You're always supposed to do a cut and clear ritual.
Well,
know that?
Yes, but you have to be mindful of what you're cutting and clearing. And it's interesting, all the little things that lurk in the shadows that we hold on to, that we haven't fully decided to let go of yet. And I as I progress, I think I get better at that. But there are always new revelations of things that I'm holding on to that really don't belong to me. So I don't think, I mean, if that was the case, one cut and clear would do you for life, right? You just do one, and then you wouldn't accumulate anything else.
Well,
it would just be good.
Well, basically, all you're doing is telling the universe you're cutting away the negative to clear for the positive and for the new. And that's basically, you're just telling the universe, cut all the negative away from me.
Right, but isn't it interesting, some of the things that we hold on to that really are negative, but they benefit us in some way. And
That's
so
what?
I don't know. I think there are levels of victimhood where people going, oh, poor baby, is something that you can get a little addicted to. And it takes a while for you to hit the point where you own your shit. I think we have variations of that. I think many of us have something that we were trained.
I'm not talking about addicts. Shit.
Well, we were trained that a certain behavior or a certain attitude gave us benefit, and it takes us a while to see it with a clear enough lens that we recognize that that's not actually a benefit. I know you're past all of that, I'm sure, but some of our listeners and me are still working on that stuff.
Oh, please.
You know what I'm talking about.
I swear.
But it's maturing, right? We start to see things in different ways as we mature, and again that lens gets cleaned, and we realize that some of the things that we were taught were the way things ought to be, or that we grew accustomed to. We realize that we can prune that, but we have to grow into it. We can't just, or at least I can't just see it all clearly. I have to clear some and then see more and clear more and then see more. And eventually, hopefully, I get to a point where it's pretty clear. But I don't know.
Okay. So what you got coming up in the year?
Well, there's this is always an interesting time of year for me. January is often a down month after December, and so I got a little ahead in December, which was nice, but there has been a little busyness going on. Actually, this week is just 7 days of stuff that needs to be done. So no rest for the wicked. I have my Vault of Horror screenings, and those are going on, and preparing for the next one. We've got a new mode at Doc's Drive-In where we're trying to have a themed party along with the screening down in the underground speakeasy. And so I'm having to work out how to rearrange my perspective on doing that sort of thing. It's been a while since I've thrown a party, and I've got to get myself back into that kind of mode and shift what it is that I'm offering people there. I'm going to be doing readings at a hockey game. The Texas Stars have their Ren Fair night. Actually, it's as this is being broadcast today. So this afternoon, I'm going to be out there, set up a table. I do readings for donations as part of their Ren Fair night. It went really well last time. It was a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to doing it again. And Sherwood is coming up, so writing and developing and preparing for that. There's some additional work thought going into doing things with media. I want to pull together an ensemble of people, so I'm not just doing things on my own, but a kind of repertory theater. But theater isn't exactly the right word. Repertory artists, creative people who also connect with the fantastic and the metaphysical, that want to help support each other, a collective of sorts. And some of it will be performance that I'm trying to do, but some of it will be growing what they're trying to do. And figuring out how to attract those people, people who are genuinely interested in engaging specifically. and not just sitting around and drinking cocktails and thinking about the idea of doing things. So there's a lot of areas that I'm pushing myself. There's some technical things that I'm working with. There's so yeah, I've got a lot of things going on. Also in March, I'm going to be at two of the Oddities and Curiosities expos that happen in Texas. That's a traveling expo that happens that features a lot of weird art and such, and I'm going to have a reading table at those. They're 2-day events. There's going to be one in Dallas and one in Houston. I haven't quite hit the point where I'm willing to travel outside of Texas for these, but who knows? I may change my mind after doing these. And so I got to get myself geared up for that as well. Our friend Madam Z has given a couple of suggestions as to how I might approach this, since she's done them in the past. And her vision of things raises the bar for me a little bit. So I've got to get my head wrapped around that. So I think this is going to be a year of getting over myself, which is hard, but worth it. And it fits very nicely in with that 8 number. How about you?
Well, Moonlight Potions and Charms is going to be expanding a little bit. We're going to be not only introducing new products, but we are going to be doing a lot more things, especially with our Facebook group. We're going to revise our Facebook group, and we're going to be doing so much more with that. I'm going to be producing another different podcast called the Southern Mad Hatters Musings, and doing that as well. And I'm also going to be teaching some classes online for shadow work. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And in the process of writing a book and so much more. And so I have a lot of things that we are going to be doing in the upcoming year. So it's just going to be a very, very big year for me. And that is just what's in the works right now. And that is just some of the things that I've got planned right now. And I know there's so much more that's going to be coming in along as the year goes on. Ah, and I just cannot wait to figure out what those are right now.
I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Hmm.
Are you getting out of your comfort zone a little bit with some of this?
Of course. Of course. You know, when you tend to expand yourself, you're always getting out of your comfort zone when it comes to that. And I'm going to be doing a lot more videos. So, of course, I'm going to be getting out of my comfort zone when it comes to that. So, um, nothing is easy. Everything has got to be working, 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 working.
All right.
And of course, I do a lot more readings and everything like that. But I am mainly going to be doing a lot more things for my shop and Moonlight Potions and Charms because we really do need to expand. And our website is going to be having a rebranding, is what we're going to be doing as well. And and once we get to be rebranded, things are going to go way, way a lot better. So
Right.
um, I'm just waiting to get a couple things in place. And we need to win. We're going to win. We're going to win Pride of the Year. That's what we're going to do. We're going to win it. Yes, we are.
That's right. Click that link, cast your vote.
Yep.
Now, we talked a little bit about our goals. How can we help our listeners focus on doing the kind of manifesting that we're looking to do this year? I mean, it's nice to watch us do stuff, I guess, but really, it's not about us. That's not why we're doing this. We want people who listen, who follow us, to achieve more in their own path. That's why we talked about the SMART idea here, to give some tools to think about. So, what can we do for you? What can we do for the people who tune in here? You, I'm talking to you, the one listening right now, the one watching right now. What can we do for you to help you achieve your goals this year? Any thoughts, Nikki?
Well, you know, the one thing is, I think they really need to sit down and write down what they actually want to do this year. And then take that one paragraph, because most people write a paragraph. Nobody knows how to write one sentence, and then condense it to a sentence. They need to write it in one sentence because they need to focus on one thing at a time. And then from that sentence, they need to be able to decide from that sentence how they're going to be able to accomplish that in a spell. Be creative. God, open up your mind. A lot of people, we limit ourselves. Our own mind limits ourselves. It was actually Albert Einstein who said that the imagination is so much more important than intelligence. That's what he said. The imagination is more important than intelligence. Because without imagination, you can't obtain the knowledge Imagination is what leads to ideas. And if you don't have imagination, then you're pretty much screwed.
Right.
So open up your little witch. Go to your little witch. Your little witch is the one who has the imagination. That's the one who has not been filtered. That's the one who hasn't been told that they can't do this or that. That's the one who has no limits. Go to your little witch and ask your little witch, hey, give me an idea. Go play with your little witch. Talk to them. What do you want to do? Ask them their dreams. And you know what? Nothing is not able to be accomplished. And I don't care how old you are, whether you're older than Saul, which will be older than dirt, or or you're as young as I am.
So an idea has just occurred to me, and I think I can have something work. Well, I know I can have part of it worked out very quickly. Sometimes it's helpful to share your goal, to share what it is that you're trying to accomplish, and to let other people see it so that they can give energy to it, whether they actually help tangibly or they just go, I support this idea. I want to see this happen too. Because that has an effect.
It does.
Some people call it the power of prayer, but it's that same idea of resonating an idea. Multiple people builds that resonance. So what I'm going to do is on the Witch Hat Chats website, witchhatchats.com, there's going to be a link for the front page. It'll also be linked from this episode, and we'll probably link it from other episodes as well. There will be a place where you can put in your intention that you were trying to do. You can add more than one of them, I suppose, but just one per, right? And we will work out a way to display those on the page. You can decide whether you want to be anonymous or not. And we can display those intentions that people have so that people can read them. They can experience the idea. They can give energy to it. And so now you're not just dealing with your own post-it note in the bathroom all by yourself. You're putting this idea out there where other people can help send it out to the universe. So today it'll be up as of this broadcast. It'll be linked in the notes, and also if you go to witchhatchats.com, there will be a link that'll take you there. Put in your intention, and let's work together to help give energy to these things and help encourage these things to get out into the universe.
Yeah, awesome.
I'll do that right now.
Awesome. We'll do that. Because also when you say it out loud, you're also manifesting it as well. So, yep, let's do that. That's a cool idea. I like that. So, awesome. All right. So that's all for our show today. So embrace your power, support your community, and keep your fuzzy babies, your family, friends, and yourself safe. And have an absolute magical week.
Well, I know some people who like to chat. I think they're witches, how about that? And every Sunday at 12 o'clock. And if you're hurting, they're willing to talk. Nikki Cummins with black stone. I agree, ever moving we rise. Alive and soul with a beautiful mind. I give you blessings under moonlight. I know some people who like to chat. I think they're witches, how about that? And every Sunday at 12 o'clock. And if you're hurting, they're willing to talk.